Hello, Lord Xavier, and welcome to your deck review. I see we are working with Maryland. First the elves, then the Fae, and then the world. So we're doing the new Sultai Maryland. We're trying to have an elf or fairy enter each turn. 4 every turn cycle to activate her. So we're not trying to get big hits, but we're trying to get a million tiny ones. I tried to have the elves be the ramp and then the fairies be the payoff. Biggest challenge is I don't know if the non-elf and fae are worth it for the deck or if I should limit myself more. Okay. I think that can be pretty easily investigated. Let's see who is our non-elf and who is our non-fairy. Jubilation. So Crater Hoof at home, but we can also, so the benefit this has over Crater Hoof is we can use it from a graveyard. So if we are doing a lot of mill or if we're doing a lot of draw discard, still accessible. Okay, Overlord of the Hauntwoods will certainly ramp us a ton. Okay, and it's just those two. So we have Craterhoof at home, and we have a. I already ejected that guy from my head. I was so angry. Oh, and then we have a ramp engine. I'm I'm really not sold on Overlord of the Hauntwoods in a deck that has access to Elvish ramp. Like when we're working with, we have Llanowar Elves, Incubation Druid, Llanowar Visionary. I'm presuming we have Elvish Mystic. We have Bloom Tender. Do we have like the Priest of Titania? Yeah, we do have Gaia's Cradle, but just for elves. Like we should have such an ability to make mana that I think committing a deck slot to I get to make a tap land maybe every turn cycle. Like it's probably not devastating. You want to have a lot of mana. And maybe it is necessary for this deck if you're intending to play a creature every single turn. But they both do seem on kind of the weak side, and I'm most interested in why we have Jubilation instead of Craterhoof. If we were trying to win a totally different way, I would understand that more. This to me seems like, hey, big green overrun spell is big green overrun spell is big green overrun spell. If your pot is just tired of Craterhoof, Chronicle of Victory immediately, in my opinion. Because that will at least also double as a card draw engine. All right, we've got some Flicker. We've got some counter spells. We've got some card draw. We've got some protection. I'm liking this. Okay, then we also said that the elves were the payoff. Or sorry, no, the elves were the ramp, the fairies were the payoff. This one's definitely not worth it. This is I mean, I can almost see it because when it ETBs, you get 3 Maryland triggers for playing this. And so if you begin flickering this, this gives you a lot of theft. But for a 7 mana spell, this is really not doing very much in my estimation. Like in bracket 3, when we start casting 7 mana spells, I want to see you start trying to be like winning the game. All right, fairy with flash that can counter a spell, give us a Maryland hit, sure. When you cast a spell on someone else's turn, we can draw a card. That's really cute, and I think with the way you want to do this deck, this can work. All right, see, this is good. This is every upkeep. Here's our hit. Perfect. This is our favorite guy ever. Wood Elf, sure. All right, so this is an ETB. We're trying to benefit from the flicker plan that we have a little bit more. Another flash fairy. Okay, and we get to pick which fairy we want to go on top. Another flash fairy. Okay, so let's talk game changers first. I think if you are in a bracket 3 pod, I'm gonna sound crazy when I say this. I'm gonna vote against Gaia's Cradle in favor of Seedborn Muse if you want to play on everybody's turn. If you just wanted to do like Marilyn, as strong as Marilyn can be in bracket 3, and I'm gonna have a lot of elves, sure, Gaia's Cradle makes sense. Gaia's Cradle, unless you are going for like comp level combos where you untap it over and over and over again, Gaia's Cradle is much more for like, I'm going to commit a million mana on my turn and it's going to win the game. If you want to go, I want to flash in a bad fairy, like an objectively weak card on everybody's turn and rob you every single turn, I think we definitely have to be untapping our own shit more often. I might even recommend like Splendid Reclamation. No, sorry, wrong card. Untap or land. I'm sure it'll be easy to find here, I believe. There's Seaborn Muse, Wilderness Reclamation. Because when, and it seems like we're doing both Overlord of the Hauntwoods and Wood Elves combined with Flicker to be like, if I'm gonna do this, I need 30 bajillion lands. I need to have access to 20 mana every turn cycle if I'm gonna have a chance in hell of getting an elf or fairy committed to the battlefield on every single person's turn. And I think that is an okay avenue to go, and it's much, much easier if you just get to untap everything you already have. It's just way simpler. So I would lean towards Seedborn Muse as one of the game changers. I would probably replace Overlord of the Hauntwoods with Wilderness Reclamation. And then you have 37 lands, it says. I think, by the time we're casting Marilyn anyway, like, getting to Wilderness Rec will be enough that you can either play a Flicker spell or you can play an elf. The other thing that's going to be really, really hard if we want to play something on everybody's turn, we're going to run out of cards really fast. And I know that you have tried to fix that at least a little bit with things like Harmonized Crescendo, and I see we have Stock Up. I see we have Season of Weaving. That's very good. We have Waterbender's Restoration. I think another thing that I love Sublime Epiphany here. I think another thing that can help is a little bit of top deck access. It may require you to bring up the creature count even higher, but one that is very, very effective for this type of deck as well is Elven Chorus. A third of our deck is creatures. It turns all of our elves into dorks. It lets us rip stuff from the top of our library such that we don't have to constantly empty our hand. And if we're the Sultai player, we always want to be threatening a counterspell, right? And so in line with that like Wilderness Rec, Seedborn Muse kind of strategy, this is like, how do I make sure I always have 4 mana and 4 cards in hand and can be like, oh, are you sure you want to go for that right now? I have a counterspell. Are you sure about that? All right, so let's see. Right now we have play a Triome, play a land. I don't really have anything to do on turn 2, but that's okay. I can spell stutter something if I'm a freak, but I probably don't. I don't even have a turn 3 play. So turn 4, I can get Glenalendra down. Turn 5, I get Maryland down. 2 things, but I can only cast something that's CMC 2 or less. It's a really tough start. And on future turns, I could Essence Flux Maryland, get another Theft off. Now I got a Bloom Tender, get a little bit more Theft. Okay, turn 8, I have 3 elves on board. I think we have kind of a board wipe here, but this game is probably kaput for us. Uh, that's juicy to start with Leyline of Anticipation. So we do that. We play that. Play Bloom Tender. What on earth does this do? -X gets an additional -3/-3 until end of turn if you control the fairy as you cast it. This is probably too cute, but I will try to let you keep it. It's a very, very adorable spell. So turn 3, we play this. Do I have... I can play Marilyn with Flash on someone else's turn. Perfect. My turn, I hit a land. Alright, so now I'm holding mana. And ideally, I want to play something on everybody's turn. So I have to tap 3. Well, 3 from her, 1 from here. I Fate Trickster on someone else's turn. Great. On someone else's turn, I displace. And I bring back, like, Bloom Tender, High Fate Trickster. 2 more hits. Juicy, juicy. That feels like a good turn. And now I'm kind of out of shit to do, but I have Kindred Discovery. And I have Consult the Star Charts. I'm probably ripping this, swinging these two to look at cards. I brick a little bit. Well, not too bad. I can return to the Wild Speaker as well. Oh, and I could have consulted the star charts unkicked because I would have tapped out for Discovery, but I could have tapped Bloom Tender on someone else's turn. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want fucking this guy. Wow, all of my best cards are right there, but I want this guy for sure. Flash in Wolverine Riders, and from here we're good, because from here we have the one theft every upkeep handled. I think what concerns me is how slow we're starting out. Yeah, oh, we have like none of the 1-drop elves. That's interesting. I'm gonna trust that you have a reason for this. Maybe you're looking for deeper upside, but like Loam Speaker versus another 1-drop elf seems like a mistake to me. Visionary versus another 1-drop elf seems like kind of a mistake to me. Malleable Imposter seems like definitely a mistake to me. We're already stealing and robbing, but I guess it has Flash, so it can probably stay for that reason. Paradise Druid seems like a mistake to me as well. And this is, again, all in the even Urborg Elf seems like a mistake to me. And this is all in the context of if you have a 5-mana commander and we want to get to that 5-mana commander as quickly as possible, the recipe is always like 12 1-drop ramp spells, and then like 8 3-drop ramp spells. And those are things like Cultivate, Kodama's Reach. You could use Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia. But to me, it feels like we are sacrificing a turn that we could have Marilyn, and I'm not sure the things we're sacrificing that turn for are worth it in many of the cases. Like Farhaven Elf feels like is only worth it because we're holding out for this flicker strategy to ramp us enough that we have enough gas to cast on everybody's turn. And I think this is another thing that is just fixed by having things that turn all of our creatures into dorks, or things that untap our lands, or by having Seedborn Muse. So like Farhaven Elf, Bloom Tender is probably the only 2-mana dork we have where I'm like, yeah, this payoff is worth it. This guy's gonna tap for 3, and maybe like Priest of Titania too, yeah, because they're gonna tap for 8 million. But in our early run out, I take great issue with Farhaven Elf, with Gala Greeters, with Incubation Druid, with Llanowar Loam Speaker, with Paradise Druid, and with Urborg Elf. Now, I'm not confident that we have Otag Ramp type Elf mana value 1. So we have these two. I don't think I saw Finhorn. I don't think I saw Elves of Deep Shadow. I don't think I saw Arbor Elf. I don't think I saw Boreal Druid. Don't think I saw Jiraga Tree Speaker. Yeah, then we start to get to the really, really greedy ones. But there's, at minimum, all these guys. And then you can also throw in Gwenna. And then you could also throw in, like, Cultivate Kodama's Reach, and you probably would not be as unhappy as you think. But we do want to keep the creature count as heavy as possible, because I am very, very... I'm deeply convinced that you want to be doing Wilderness Wreck, Seedborn Muse, Elven Chorus. Let me... Is this an elf? It's a human druid. Crap. All right, let me see if we have a precog engine that will work for being an elf. Type elf. Probably have Eladamri. Right, he's a precog engine. He lets us mana cheat if we just have a really, really wide board, which is probably something we want to have. He's the only Elvish precog engine we get, but I know another precog engine is Case of the... This is probably the weakest of the precog engines, because the only solve case is we have a bunch of lands. And so if you did want to go this route, I would probably recommend trying to find something you could, or some place you could fit in Cultivate and Kodama's Reach, so you're a little bit more confident that you're going to get to those lands. But I feel like the issue is we are trying to, the core issue is we are trying to overcome the great resource requirement of playing on everybody's turn by just like blinking elves, and we probably are ignorant of the other ways around that problem. So I think you should invest in the other ways around that problem, which are to untap all my shit with Seedborn Muse, turn all my shit into dorks with things like Elven Chorus, and then get access to the top of my library such that I'm not running out of guys to play. Because on a lot of these playtests, we're getting very, very close to running out of guys to play. And I think all of those weaker 2-drops that I called out should become 1-drop ramp elves. Like, we gotta get this shit going. If we don't have a very compelling reason, if we're playing tabletop and we're holding removal like every turn in the first 3 turns, sure. I don't think we're actually doing that. We tend to be holding like Clifford the big red 4-drop on most of the first 3 turns. So I think if you make all of those changes, this can come together in a really, really beautiful way. I think another thing you should consider, especially over your more expensive flicker spells, is potentially just a clone spell. Because a lot of your stuff you want to get pretty wide. You want to get pretty wide and thick. But Flicker does double as protection, so it's hard to argue against it, especially in the higher brackets when removal starts to get a little bit more prevalent. But I am thinking a lot about, like, oh, Lord in heaven. Lord in heaven, do I love flash photography. My word. I get 2 of those elves that make an elf every upkeep. You know, I get 2 of my... I just get a different formidable speaker, and now I have 2 different things that can untap Bloom Tender. Like, that is preferable to me over flickering a lot of the time, but I understand why it might not be for you. So I would just think about that as a potential thing to play with, but I would definitely change more 1-drop elves. Seedborn Muse, please God. I don't think you need Gaia's Cradle. Or I don't think the deck wants to play in a way that actually wants Gaia's Cradle. Wilderness Reclamation 2, and then top deck access. You have good card draw, but there's not enough card draw in the world to cast a spell every fucking upkeep and not run out unless we can play from the deck itself. So I hope all that helps, and I hope you enjoyed.